Hi, here to discuss about Honorable Judges G.R. Swaminathan and Lakshminarayan order on the cow slaughter issue. Petition was filed praying cows and calves should not be slaughtered for this Bakrid in Coimbatore. So, what happened post that was extremely interesting and including the order. So, can cows be slaughtered? That's the first question. No, it cannot be as far as Tamil Nadu laws go. Because in 1958, we have an Animal Preservation Act, which we used to use extensively when we stopped cattle illegally being transported to Kerala under extreme cruel circumstances. So we used to use that. So there it very clearly says baby cattle or the cows and mother cows cannot be slaughtered. Now, when you say cow, that's for an animal which is revered by Hindus, right? So, I mean, it's Gau is Mata for Hindus. So obviously that's the, and that's been protected. And also Article 48, which protects cows and calves under animal husbandry law. So the reason is they are milk animals and therefore they are useful purpose. So let's not destroy them. Second is also the religious angle where Gau is Mata. Now, what you need to understand, cow or beef was never a meat for Hindus or Indians because of various illness which could prevail due to beef. Popular ones are Alzheimer and Parkinson's, right? That everyone knows. Even for Muslims in India, most of these Muslims do not consume beef. It's only because of economical reasons. Today, there is a huge consumption of beef happening, and some of them feel proud eating beef because it hurts Hindu sentiments. A stupid belief. Leave it at that. No need to discuss. So, cow can be slaughtered? No, that's the law. Then, what is a cow? The definition is not clear anywhere. I went and looked at the Preservation of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. I looked at the Forest Conservation Act. I looked at various statutes, even the Constitution. Cow is not defined. Just say cow. So we should presume it is desi cow. But today, how many are desi cows? Most of them are hybrid, artificially inseminated with Holstein Friesian or the Jersey sperm. So most of them are hybrid. So what about Holstein Friesian and Jersey? Do they fall under the cow? Anything which is a milk animal which gives you milk has to be a cow. So that's how it is. But there's no clarity today because they're all hybrid. Okay, so that's the biggest problem. And there are very few desi cows. In the north, we have plenty because those North Indian cows milk to the extent of 10 to 20 liters a day, whereas your Tamil Nadu or the dry cattle, we call them, they do not, but a desi cow in Tamil Nadu would give you some 1 liter, 1.5 liter, 2 liter, that's all, nothing more than that. So that's how cows are defined as. Next is definition of a slaughterhouse. There are two things. One is slaughtering cannot be permitted any place other than slaughterhouse. Now, why do we slaughter? We slaughter for meat and the byproducts like leather, etc. Right? So that's what we follow. So which is the legal slaughtering method? Not halal. The stunning method is the legal slaughtering method according to Slaughterhouse Rules 2001, which prevails in India. Right? So slaughtering has to be in the slaughterhouse where they will slaughter. There'll be an inspection by the veterinary officer that meat is good for consumption, etc. Then they'll put a chapa, the stamp, a blue color stamp, and give it to you, and that has to be retailed. But today, what has happened is every chicken stall, every mutton stall, and every beef stall has become a slaughterhouse. Now, this is where the problem is. So this judgment is welcome. Nowhere other than slaughterhouse animal to be slaughtered. Next comes the problem, the tricky issue. For essential religious practices, sacrifice of animals is permitted as per the respective religion. Is slaughtering and sacrifice the same? That's the question. Sacrifice, is it? So, when you say sacrifice, it has to be religious sacrifice, it has to be in a Kuladevam temple or in a Muslim case, it was either the mosque or whatever they call it, whatever mosque or Jamaat or whatever, that place. So, slaughtering is for meat and consumption. In sacrifice, it is for sacrifice, the primary reason. It can be consumed if you want. So, these are two different things. So, we can't confuse, slaughtering with what do you call sacrifice. So, and we can't define if it's a designated place. If the place has to be designated to be slaughtered, and sacrifice is different from slaughter. I have to mention this because if you're going to define your Kuladevam temple and a mosque as a slaughterhouse, that it will hurt sentiments. So I don't think we should step into that at all. So as far as this judgment goes, in public places, do not sacrifice or slaughter. Period. Okay, it has to be, because when white man, when he brought out the slaughtering, etc., the rules, etc., he always ensured slaughtering of an animal is not in public view. It has to be in some corner of the city or the suburb where there is not too many. There are no walls. There are no glass walls for slaughterhouses, for a simple reason: it's supposed to be extremely cruel. Today, what has happened? Every chicken stall, they just cut off. They do halal, so they just cut off the carotid artery and throw the uh, chicken or the fowl into a drum, and the drum rotates at a very high speed, ripping off all the feathers, etc. So that's terrible cruelty which is happening, and slaughtering of baby goats. That's very rampant in Chennai now. And for the taste and the tenderness of the meat, they're doing it, and that's also wrong, and that's a violation. And that's exactly why they say slaughtering has to be done in a slaughterhouse, so that the veterinarian can inspect and say, yes, this animal is fit for slaughtering, and not babies and calves, and male calf, male progeny always goes to slaughter. So 500 to 1,000 rupees is the price for them. Every when the male calf is given birth, and its lifespan is only till the mother milks. Could be a 6 months to a year, whatever. After that, it has to go to slaughter. That's become the norm. My problem is slaughtering them in this beef stalls, retail outlets, beef stall, mutton stall, and chicken stall. That's extremely cruelty, extremely unhygienic, and against the law. That needs to be stopped. Okay, and we will come to that, because I have a PIL which got dismissed, which is I'm filing a review on that. When we come to that, we'll discuss that. Next is the Slaughterhouse Rules 2001, enacted by famous Menaka Gandhi and gang. I need to tell you this: in 2000, they enacted something like 10 different rules: slaughterhouse, then transport, and ABC 2001. None of them were tabled in the parliament. These are rules. These need not be voted for approval. It has to be passed. It has to lie there in the table for 2 months. Somebody to object or whatever, welcome it, whatever. After that, it automatically gets passed. But this was not. These were not tabled. This was a testimony given by then MOEF Minister T.R. Balu. Okay, he said the Animal Welfare Board was passing these bills, these rules, and that Animal Welfare Board moved to 5 different ministries in a short span of time. Obviously, Menaka Gandhi, when she moved different ministries, right from tourism to culture to MOEF to animal husbandry, etc., I think she kept taking the Animal Welfare Board, because that's a, what do you call, I used to call it servant quarters. Whatever she wants, she used to get it done through that department. She used to carry that along. So T.R. Balu apologized to the parliamentary committee, saying that these were not tabled. That's a violation. Once they're not tabled, they should have been thrown in the dustbin. But we went and enacted them, and we enforced them. So that is the 2001 rules. But prior to that, we also have the Urban Local Bodies Act, which is nothing but the municipality rules of the British era, which is refined and 1998 rule. That has stringent sections and rules saying that a slaughterhouse, a designated slaughterhouse, has to fulfill 100 conditions. So you can't give it temporarily, you can't designate a place as slaughterhouse, because it has to fulfill all those. So slaughtering and sacrifice has to be kept separate. So that's my humble request and my understanding. Next is uh, as I said, Kuladevam Coil or the mosque cannot be labeled as a slaughterhouse. That will hurt sentiments. And if you ask me, these activists and petitioners should avoid such petitions during that period of sacrifice. So when there's a Kuladevam Coil sacrifice is going to happen, you go file a PIL. That's not right. You're only targeting them. You're targeting that community. Similarly, your Bakrid, if you're going to file a petition just before Bakrid, you're targeting them. I suggest these activists should stay away. They are trying to create trouble, and they could become communal, etc. So staying away is a better thing. But if you're really interested in regulating slaughter, like me, I filed a bill which is like in the month of I think January or something like that. Not January, month of March or April, it got dismissed. But I'm going for a review, and those are things which you should know, because slaughtering in unhygienic places, in retail outlets, it's unlawful and it's wrong. So those things you should regulate, but not just speaking on some sacrifice issue which is related to a community. Then the IUML in Tamil Nadu wants to go for a review, and I can tell you they're going to get a whack, because the order is very clear. It only says what is unlawful, it's unlawful. You cannot slaughter in a public place. They have to argue. If at all, I don't think there's any argument on stopping sacrifices of animals in essential religious practices. I don't think the judgment has crossed the line there. The judgment is very, very well within the Lakshman Rekha. So with that, I conclude. Hope you got some insight into it. Thank you for listening.